So I asked the question earlier on. It says, what is the law of Christ? Well, it's the methods that Christ used, right? Okay. Pardon? Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the entire law, yes. Okay? Fulfilling the law of Christ in Galatians 6:2. Someone read Galatians 6:2 for us. And while you're looking for that, whether revealed in written documents or in nature, the law of God discloses His will to every person capable of understanding. No one can claim to be ignorant of the basic requirements of God. Okay, Galatians 6:2. Okay, I didn't hear that.
It's the new Living Translation Bible, and it's share each other's burdens, and in this way obey the law of Christ.
Okay. Now, what does that mean to you?
I think in modern day times, even as Christians, we are afraid to share burdens with others, even other Christians to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. I think from a human standpoint, burdens might depict a certain weakness that we might be scared to share, or we haven't, I think in some instances, people haven't made a particular spiritual connection with someone that they're comfortable with to be able to share burdens with. So when Paul says, share each other's burdens, you have to have, as a Christian or a missionary or someone who's reaching out, you have to have had a connection with that person for a while for them to feel open to share their burdens with you.
Okay, so you will have had to develop a sense of confidence in the individual.
Yeah. So when Paul said one person, he was one to everyone. I mean, he was there for them.
Yes.
Always making contact with them when times are good, when times are bad, so that when that person had a particular issue, they were free to contact him and to share it with them.
What do you think is the greatest detriment to sharing burdens in the church today?
Let me prefix this first of all by you ask what is sharing each other's burden. Mm-hmm. Christ actually showed us what that means when he gave that story about the Good Samaritans. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we do things because we don't want to get involved because of what might be the outcome. People say about us, or, maybe how can we be aligned with this person? But we saw that it is through good doing that we gain people to Christ. And the sharing of burden, he said the biggest detriment, I believe, is when we look at what people will say.
Okay.
That's my...
And what... so you really answered my question as what will people say? And I think one of the greatest detriments to that is what people do say.
I was just going to say that. Because if we do share in someone's burdens, we have to use discretion as well. And we have to say, if we help someone, we can't go back and give a testimony, after communion, telling how we helped this person. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We have to protect their interest and their dignity. Yes. I think that's one of the challenges that kind of affects us as Adventists.
Yes,
Also, we have to be very careful not to be sharing somebody else's burden with somebody else. That's what they're afraid of. Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's what I was trying. It's the gossip concept that we get together on Sabbath at dinner table, Sabbath dinner, and discuss, what's going on, and it becomes, like the newspapers, sensationalism, and we're hurting ourselves as well as we're damaging other person. So we have to be very careful in how we deal with that. Mr. Gladys, you?
Oh, okay. One thing with the sharing of the burden is we have to put that person in our shoe. What if I am in that person's shoe? If I am going through what this person is going through, how will I have dealt with it? So, as what you guys said is right. After we share the person's burden, after we discuss the issue, we should be very careful discussing it with some other person. That's one detriment with it,
Okay. So really, fulfilling the law of Christ and sharing burdens, we should always think of what would Christ do in this situation. And in Galatians 6:1-5, it says, what is one way to manifest the law of Christ? And I said, and someone else might share what they wrote down, but I said, the spiritually mature should gently help those who are spiritually weak, keeping in mind that we all can fall into sin. We all can fall into sin. Therefore, we must bear one another's burdens as Christ bore ours on the cross. Christ is the only man that walked this earth that never sinned. Yes, and we have developed differently in spiritually, but we should always keep in mind.
I think let us not have the notion that sharing each other's burden means doing something or giving something. But the burden that Paul talks about here is the burden of salvation. Mm-hmm. What are we to do that we sense the need to, the hunger to serve, I'm going to use the word, to help someone see Christ through to see Christ. Because if we don't have that hunger and that burden in our heart, then you can give anything else to someone, but it still will not count, because is the Good Samaritan supposed to bring someone to Christ. That is the end of the whole journey.
Amen.
Whatever we do is supposed to bring someone to Christ. That should be our greatest burden.
Okay. So everything that we do, and when we're working with others, we should be attempting to lead them to Christ. And the more that we do that, the more that we gain spiritually. Because, if we are using the methods of Christ in reaching out others, we also are developing our own character.
Yes.
Okay? And it's like I got the law and judgment before she starts playing on me. It says, although God's law is a law of mercy, God will eventually use it as a standard of judgment. Yes, God's law is it's a law of mercy, but one day we will be judged by the law and the things that we did not do according to the law. And then in Revelation 14:7, it says that the question is asked, how does John 5:30 help us understand these judgments? And what I said was, God has appointed a day of judgment where there will appear, or all will appear. It is Christ exercising the will of the Father who will judge. And Justin, could you offer prayer for us?
Amen.
Thank you.
Good morning, Sabbath School. That was a great Sabbath School lesson. I enjoy very much participating in the adult Sabbath School lesson, especially since I'm a youth teacher and I rarely get a chance to come up. But today, most of the youth kids are at a graduation ceremony at our Christian school in Pleasant Hill. So it allowed me the opportunity to participate in the adult Sabbath School class, which is always a blessing. Amen? We're going to start off this Sabbath School second period with opening song. And our opening song will be on page 327. Page 327, I Rather Have Jesus. I rather have Jesus than silver or gold. I rather be His than have riches untold. I rather have Jesus than houses or lands. I rather be led by His nail-pierced hands than to be the king of a vast domain, or be held in sin's dread sway. I rather have Jesus than anything this world affords today. I rather have Jesus than man's applause. I'd rather be faithful to His dear cause. I'd rather have Jesus than worldwide fame. I'd rather be true to His holy name than to be the king of a vast domain, or be held in sin's dread sway. I rather have Jesus than anything this world affords today. He's fairer than lilies of rarest bloom. He's sweeter than honey from out of the comb. He's all that my hungering spirit needs. I rather have Jesus and let Him lead than to be the king of a vast domain, or be held in sin's dread sway.